Australian railway companies enter the freight market of Ukraine. The collapse of the shares of the largest steel company in Germany. Davos doesn't want to see Russian oligarchs on its forum. This and other metal market news in the weekly review of MetalNews. The program is created with the technical support of the Techenergoprom group. The Antimonopoly Committee of Ukraine has allowed the Austrian OST-WEST logistics Netzwerk GmbH to acquire more than 50% of the shares in the Austrian freight car investment GmbH and UMTCY Limited, the Cypriot, which controls Metallurgtrans and ukrmetallurgtrans respectively. As noted in the AMC, after concentration of the aggregate share of participants of concentration in the market of freight railway transport do not exceed 7%, will not affect the monopolization and will not lead to a significant restriction of competition in the market. Customers of logistics companies on the Ukrainian market, according to the records of the AMC, are ArcelorMittal Krivoy Rog, DTEK, Interpipe Ukraine, Alchevsk metallurgical complex and others. Interpipe plans to begin serial deliveries of tyres to the CIS countries from the fourth quarter of 2018, the press service of company reports. According to the press service, the tyres will be used to repair locomotive wheel sets. The company recalled that the last few years, the main market for the tyres products of Interpipe were Ukrainian enterprises. In particular, Ukrzaliznytsia was the main buyer in the domestic market. So, in 2017, Interpipe delivered more than 2,700 tons of tyres to the Ukrainian market. In 2018, about 2,300 tons. Unfortunately, the tyre line is idle most of the time. So this year, production was launched only twice. This is a disappointing statistic, although the manufacturer is provided with the necessary equipment, raw materials and qualified personnel. The company is looking for ways to establish a more rhythmic production and increase the line load. Therefore, Interpipe plans to start shipping bandage products to the CIS market from the fourth quarter. Tata Steel plans to ramp up domestic capacity to 30 million tons by 2025, accepting a challenge from another Indian company, GSW Steel. The company, which started off from Jamshedpur in 1905, now has an installed capacity of 18.5 million tons in India after the successful acquisition of Bhushan Steel through the insolvency process, including the European and Southeast Asian operations. Our aim is to cross 30 million tons by March 2025. As of now, we have a clear line of sight up to 29.5 million tons, an unturned President Steel business of Tata Steel said. The company also expects to operate the Bhushan Steel plant full throttle by next fiscal. It hopes to end the year with an output of 4.3 million tons after taking full control over the asset from June end. Under the erstwhile owners, Bhushan Steel had produced 3.5 million tons in 2017-2018. Three prominent Russian businessmen subject to US sanctions have been informed that they will not welcome at January's annual World Economic Forum event in Davos, Switzerland, the Financial Times writes. Businessmen are actually excluded from participating in the forum, although there are no legal grounds for this, and the decision is connected with the concern of international organizations because of Washington's sanctions imposed on businessmen in the spring of this year. The decision to bar the trio undermined efforts by the WEF's organizers to convince Russian President Vladimir Putin to attend the event for the first time in a decade, one of the people said. This is not about the law. The organizers of the Economic Forum are under huge pressure of the United States not to invite Deripaska and Vekselberg. Oleg Deripaska did not plan to travel to Davos. He stepped down from business and participation in the forum has no sense, therefore, the source said. Germany's largest steelmaking company ThyssenKrupp has reduced its net profit forecast in 2018 to 0.1 billion euros compared with the previous estimate. Net profit was supposed to be significantly better than last year's figure of 271 million euros. ThyssenKrupp also lowered its forecast for adjusted earnings before interest and taxes to 1.6 billion euros compared with the previous forecast of 1.8 billion euros. At the auction in Germany, the company's shares plunged by 10.31% and traded at 17.10 euros per share. You are watching Metal News review for the week. Indicative prices for the reporting week look like this. You have watched the weekly review of Metal News. Your subscription to the channel and clicking on the bell will allow you to be aware of the main events of the total metal market every week.